Okay, so today we're diving into a situation that honestly is pretty messy.
Yeah, it's definitely a complicated one.
It's one of those things you see online and think, no way, that can't be real, but here we are.
Right. And it's more common than you might think.
This is about a listener who reached out to us and, well, his wife left him for someone she met online, playing Fortnite,
Hmm.
of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And to make matters worse, the whole thing blew up on YouTube, like totally viral.
Yeah, that adds a whole other dimension to it.
So we're going to try to unpack this, offer some perspective, and hopefully some advice for our listener, right?
Absolutely. And to our listener out there, first and foremost, what you're going through is rough. There's no sugarcoating it. Feeling hurt, confused, even humiliated, that's all normal.
I mean, it's like a double whammy, you know?
Mm.
First the breakup, and then suddenly it's public fodder for the internet.
Yeah, no kidding. It's tough. But okay, let's break it down. First off, the online relationship thing. Now, some folks might scoff at that, like, how can you fall for someone you've never met in person, right? But
But it happens. I mean, I get it. People underestimate how powerful those connections can be, especially in a game like Fortnite.
exactly, Fortnite and really any online game like that, they're inherently social. You're teaming up, strategizing, talking constantly. You build camaraderie, you share goals.
And you're spending hours and hours together
Mm,
day after day. Like, I can see how feelings could develop.
totally. Plus, there's this layer of, well, anonymity, right? The
Yeah.
internet, it kind of lets you create an idealized version of yourself.
Like an online persona. I've heard that term before.
Right, exactly. You can be more open, more vulnerable because, well, you're not face to face. It feels safer. And if you connect with someone on that level, the bond can be intense.
But then the line blurs.
Right.
Right. When does that online persona start to take over? And what happens to the real life relationships?
Yeah, that's the danger zone. It's not that the feelings in the online relationship are fake, not necessarily, but they can become so all consuming that everything else gets pushed aside.
And in this case, we have the added layer of, well, this YouTube thing that just throws gasoline on the fire.
For sure. I mean, viral fame, even when it's not something you sought out, it can be traumatic. Suddenly, your personal life is out there for everyone to dissect, and it's often twisted and sensationalized.
Especially with how viral content works these days.
Hmm.
The more drama, the more views, the more clicks.
Right.
And for our listener, it's got to feel deeply personal.
Absolutely. It's a violation of privacy, and it can really mess with your sense of self. So the question is, where do you go from here? How do you even begin to heal when it feels like the whole world's watching?
Honestly, I think the first step has got to be to, like, disconnect.
Yeah.
Put down the phone, step away from the computer, just tune out the noise for a bit.
Couldn't agree more. Self-care is absolutely essential. Do whatever helps you recharge, reconnect with yourself, spend time with loved ones, pick up a hobby, go for a hike, anything that brings you peace.
And remember, you are not alone in this. Yeah, your situation's unique, but heartbreak, that's universal. And there's tons of support out there.
Exactly. Talk to friends, family, people you trust. Don't bottle it up. And if it feels overwhelming, consider therapy. A professional can help you process all this and find healthy ways to cope.
Now, on a more practical level, if you think that YouTube content is, straight up slander or violates your privacy, maybe talk to a lawyer.
Good point. There are laws against online harassment and the misuse of personal info. And, it's not all about being passive. You can try to take back control of the narrative, at least to some extent.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, maybe engage with some positive content, counter the inaccuracies, or look into online reputation management. There are ways to, push back against the negativity.
It might seem overwhelming now,
Mm-hmm.
but, you're not powerless. And look, this whole thing, it's been brutal, no doubt. But it doesn't define you.
That's so important to remember. This is a chapter, a really tough one, but it's not the whole book. You are stronger than this. You will heal. You will move forward.
And maybe, just maybe, you can turn this into something positive. Reevaluate what's important, find new passions, build stronger, healthier relationships offline.
Yeah, think of it this way. What if this experience, painful as it is, becomes the thing that launches you into a whole new chapter? One that's about real connections, self-discovery, and realizing just how resilient you truly are. That's a tough question, I know, but it's worth pondering.
It really is.
Hmm.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with another, hopefully a little less messy situation to analyze.
Mm.
Until then, take care.
Take care.